Good day, my brilliant students. Today we'll look into reproductive system in fish. When we talk of reproductive system, it's quite different from reproduction. When we talk of reproduction, it has to do with the act of making or producing new offspring. Then when we're talking of reproductive system, it happens to be or deal with those systems that are necessary for reproduction. But today we will look into reproductive system in fish. Now, let's take a look. A fish exhibits sexual reproduction, but fertilization is external. Then look at it the other way. The fish are unisexual. That means one sex. That is, sex is singular. And their reproductive system is formed within the abdomen. We're going to talk on that better when we get into the illustrative aspect of it. The male reproductive system of a tilapia consists of two testes and a male duct, which leads to the genital opening. The two testes, which is suspended in the abdominal cavity, are elongated structures and are joined in the posterior part as a single duct, which happens to the outside as the genital opening. That's for the male. Then now let's look or see what happens in the female fish. In the female reproductive system of a tilapia, there exist two ovaries which produce egg cells with a small amount of yolk. These are discharged into the body cavity and are wax, just like I said. The word wax simply means flow. Flow into the oviducts, which open internally into the body cavity. The oviducts lead posteriorly and open again into the genital aperture. The aperture we're talking about simply means what? Opening. Then I want us to understand something. In the fish, we have a great difference when we're talking about testes and ovaries. But I want to explain something better. When we're talking of ovary, ovary has to do with the structure where the ova are being formed. Then the testes, which we know, is what is found in the male, which help in what's producing the fluid, which is necessary for what? Production. So now we'll be looking into the diagram of a fish. Better still, the kind of fish which I'll be explaining or talking about is the tilapia zilli. So you see a better explanation on the diagram. So now just hello students, I think here's the real deal. Because should I keep explaining on the theoretical aspects without giving a better illustration, you may not get it so well. But with the structure of the diagram we're having here, I think it's going to make it more crystal clear. So now, I want us to look at the diagram of this tilapia zilli. I know the fish or the diagram of a fish is not a new thing. Better still, you're not entitled to it. But now, look at it. In the structure of the fish is made up of two parts. The fish is made up of two parts. We have the trunk, and we have the head. We have the trunk from here down this place is the trunk, then from this area down this place is the head. The fish has no neck, you understand? So it is made up of two parts. Then now, I want us to look at the first part. The first part, we have the head. What do we find in the head? The head now, we have the eyes. We have the teeth. Now, the fish, I would like us to know that the fish has what we call homoduct dentition. What do I mean by homoduct dentition? It simply means that all the teeth are equal. They are of the same size. They are of the same size. That is what it simply means. So now, apart from that, the fish also has a tank. That tank, it helps it to draw water for respiration. Then that is that. Then now we come down here, we have the operculum. The operculum of a fish, it do open and close. And this is very necessary for respiration. It's very necessary for what? Respiration. In our other class before the break, we did a little practical where I showed you the gill recca, the operculum, and the rest of that. Those of you who were in the class will understand what I'm talking about better. So now, apart from that now, then come this way now, we have what? The parts, the sliver, the trunk, We have what's fin here, we have the scale, we have different types of fins. You see, this is what we call the dorsal fin. This is what we call the dorsal fin. This is what we call the paid fin, because it's normally two. We call it the paid fin. This is what we call the anal fin. This is what we call the caudal fin. Each of these fins has its own function. Now look at it. The function of the caudal fin, it enables the fish to swim. You understand? Better still, we say biologically, it is used for what? Steering and balancing. That is why the fish will always look like this in the water. It doesn't fall. So it steers and balances, you understand, for movement. Then now we go down to the other one. Then look at this. I said this is the anal fin. Then now let's come to this. In this part now we have the abdomen. Then apart from the abdomen, we have developed ovary here. The developed ovary, look at ovary with developed eggs. So since it's developed, this can now what necessitate fertilization. Then now apart from that, we have what we call the air bladder. This is the air bladder. Then we have the intestines. These you see, they are the intestine. So it's made up of all these makes up the fish. You understand? All this makes up the external features of a fish. And come to think of it, we say that fertilization in fish is external, it's not internal. That is to say that, like if you look at this, we have the cloaca. What do I mean by the cloaca? In the male reproductive system, we call it the anus. But in the fish, we call it, biologically, it's called what? The cloaca. This is where it gives out solid metabolic waste. So it comes through this way. We won't be looking into the external features because should we look into that, we'll see other different things that is made up of the fish. Then we can also have what we call there's a pertinent part of the fish called the chorion. The chorion is found in the fish. And this chorion is a symbol, you understand, for emergency. For example, should there be an emergency for predator, you understand, the chorion is being swallowed by the male fish, you understand, to protect the female fish from being eaten by the predator. And what happens? There's a sign it normally gives out or exhibits. We call that sign me cry. What did I say? Me cry. So with the help of the me cry, the female will be alert, you understand, to what? To get the awareness of the predator and to mingle out from that very cell. The reproductive process in fish is not quite simultaneous to that of the lizard and gamma and the bird. It's quite different, but we're going to look into that in our next class. Thank you very much. Stay safe and be good. And please be studious as you can. Your assignment will be attached to the number in the WhatsApp. And please endeavor to submit your assignment. Thank you and God bless you.